Welcome to the Classy Lady Corner. I'm your host, Stephanie. Today, ladies, I have a treat for you. I'm sitting down with Dr. Vernell Hooker, and we will be talking all things natural hair. He's the owner of the Anteco Salon in Brookhaven, Mississippi. He's a trained hairstylist and has extensive hair care knowledge, among other things. Now it's time to welcome Vernell to the Classy Lady Corner. I know you already know how excited I am to have you on the show. Unmute Vern. Hi, Vern.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Trying to get used to this new technology, but hey, I'm well. And thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for agreeing to this. And guess what, Vernell? I got to tell you this. Guess what?
What?
You're the first male to sit in the Classy Lady Corner. So, hey.
Oh.
So you know you special now. We just don't let any man come on the show, but we gonna let
well,
you.
hey, I'm
special.
glad. I'm glad I made the top list. So
There.
all people always remember the first. So okay, so you can have another male after this, but the first
All right,
was Vernell
the
Hooker.
first. That's it, and I will never forget that. Hey, ain't that the way it is when your first come along? You never forget them.
I'm with you when you're right.
All right, now I like that. Now, Vern, I want you to introduce yourself to the Classy Lady Corner. Let them know who you are. See, let me tell you why I said this. I have an episode that I did where I talked about, me transitioning to natural hair, not getting relaxers in my hair anymore. And so I talked about the story about my journey of finding you. And then when I got through with the episode, I was like, you know what? They need to talk to the man that I found that lays these curly hair, this tight coiled hair down and have it looking so fabulous. So I was like, hey, I got to have him on. So I want them to know just why I love you so. So introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm just, if they could just see my face, I'm just over here cheesing like, I'm having an interview. But Stephanie might not, of course, but to out there podcast listeners, my name is Vernell Hooker, and I hail from the great state of Mississippi and currently live in Brookhaven. And I know some people like Brookhaven. I'm about 50 miles south of Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, so I always mention Jackson because people can relate. Okay, I've heard of Jackson or I've been through or something. I've been in this hair business now for 19 years. 19 years. Yes, I actually left corporate America to do this because I caught the vision years and years ago. I mean, years ago, probably 30 years ago.
You got to tell that story. You got to tell that story before we get out here. You got to. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Go ahead.
So I just caught the vision and I just decided, okay, this is what I want to do. But in the meantime, before I go back to the 30-year story, I just became fascinated with seeing women hair move. And I know that may sound simple, Stephanie, but that is how I ended up doing what I'm doing now. I had gone to the salon. This is prior to going to cosmetology school. I had gone to the salon with my cousin who lives in California. And one thing I just always, when I would see her, I would always admire how her hair would move. And I just attributed to, okay, it's their climate, this, she has good hair or something.
Yeah.
At the same time, okay, I knew I wasn't, if I go to cosmetology school, I wasn't going to go in California. I was going to do it in Mississippi, of course. So that's what happened. I went to cosmetology school, but that was still kind of embedded in my mind as far as the look or what I'm trying to learn. Because I knew the look I wanted to achieve, but I didn't know how to get there because I was not properly trained.
Mm-hmm.
Just on your own. I had to be professionally and structural and professionally trained in order to get what I saw in my head. But anyway, so Anteco Salon comes about. Actually, I worked with someone for a little while before I opened up Anteco Salon, but that was still in my mind. So I'm kind of going back and forth for a second, Stephanie. When I was sitting in the salon, the young lady was doing my cousin's hair.
Right.
And my cousin reached down and she picked up her purse. When she picked up her purse, her hair went down, of course. When she picked the purse up and she stood back straight, her hair just fell into place. So my heart is beating because I'm like, okay, as men, we love simple things. We love simple things. So you notice the little things like that. The movement in the hair and the shine. Well, I learned that later on about shine, but it was just a movement about for me.
Right.
Well, Stephanie, as come along, skip forward, Anteco Salon, or me actually finally getting out of cosmetology school, worked at a place. They probably couldn't appreciate what I saw. I probably couldn't verbalize it per se, but I knew what I wanted. And skip forward, Anteco Salon, I started to hone on that skill set. I knew exactly what I needed to do to get to where I'm going. I knew how to get from A to B to C to D. And that was because of, being properly trained on different things, different products, different tools. And that's how I got into the natural game.
Okay.
That is how I got into it.
Okay, well, you're going too fast. You're getting ahead of me and my question.
Okay.
But anyway,
okay.
But I love that. I love that. Listen, yes. I love the fact that that you get intrigued by and what's so amazing about it, you saw that years ago, and just what you saw is how you have our hair. Because like when I tell you. When I say you be feeling yourself when you leave Anteco Salon, I be feeling myself. Do you hear me? I hate when I have to come over there and leave with pins in my hair because I just want to go somewhere in the store and just shake it. And you know what happens? When I go in there and I shake it, like, we know who did your hair. See, you got your signature. Your signature is there. It's there. It's there. Anyway, before we go any further, share one fun fact about you. I want to know one thing. I mean, I know because I sit in the salon with you, but don't share, everything, but just one fun fact. Okay. Just one fun fact about it.
Well, one thing, Stephanie, one fun fact is that I love to laugh. And those who have been around me understand you gain energy from individuals. And I just thank God he has put me in a position to own a salon and work with you guys and clients every day because you just pull from that. And I'm at my best when we're laughing about something, whether it's something we read on the newspaper, something, we've encountered together, or
right.
I just love that spirit about just being free and enjoying the moment. So
I love that because you cannot come to Anteco Salon and be in a bad mood because I mean even on the way there you happy, and then once you get there your energy, like I always heard somebody says that you get what you give, and you always give us, you let us know now, we don't run you, but you give us joy, you our counselor,
right.
you know everything about us, but you just have a way of, even when we're trying to talk about stuff that maybe kind of like down, you gonna always find a way to turn it around, bring us back up, give us some joy, and say, hey, look at it from this way, or look at it from that point. So I love that. I love that you have that. That's a gift. Everybody doesn't have that. You know what I mean? You do.
Oh, well, you got it. Stephanie.
You got to give you flowers. Got to give you flowers.
While you're alive, I'm with you.
That's it. Now, what's something people seem to misunderstand about you? I probably know this one, but go ahead.
I think maybe my intensity and my love for what I do for hair, owning a business, my level of commitment, my work ethic is probably, it can match others, if not beat others in this industry or whatever industry they're in. Years ago, when I was blessed to own a salon, I just put on a different hat. Not one that may be visible to my clients, but I put on a hat where, okay, no one's going to make you get up and come to the salon. No one's going to make you clean up your salon. No one's going to make you treat people right. No one. These are things that come with owning a business. I'm a big stickler of customer service. I think that goes right under the umbrella of work ethic. What just put me in that mindset, Stephanie. Once the salon was going, when I would go to restaurants, I just noticed the waiter or the waitress, and I went out of my way, even if they didn't feel good or didn't greet us like we should have, like we thought we should have been greeted. I still went out of my way to try to have conversation, and treat them like they were not, but like they were like, I know they're servers, but not like they're my servant
Yeah, I
per
got
se.
you. Hmm.
And I learned the value of even tipping. You're encouraging, and it's just so much that goes along with that I carried from customer service and work ethic and everything in the salon. I started to carry with me when I would go places.
Right,
So
right.
it just, I guess, doing this had just helped me to or be mindful of that, to be well rounded in so many different ways.
Well, I have to say this much: your customer service. We had a little. It had nothing to do with Vern. It was me. Us women, we get in our little feelings, and I got in my little feelings one time, and guess who paid for it? Me, not Vern. I did. I paid for it. But anyway, I'm not gonna tell that story, but I just want y'all to be intrigued. It's a good story.
It is really a good
It's
story.
a good story. But the thing that I love about, the coming over there, and I tell people all the time, I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do, you know, if you retire, Vern, because that's why I'm always telling you, train somebody, Vern, train somebody. We
Right,
need somebody
exactly.
because because you're gonna retire, because you're getting a little fast now. As the old people say, you're traveling a lot. And we have to do what we do. But anyway, you earned it. You earned it.
Right.
But my thing is, when I tell you I am spoiled rotten, when I tell you, I tell people all the time, ain't no way I can go, and I say it ain't no way I can go to another salon, because when I tell you this man has you in there, your appointment is in an hour. He done everything. You out the door. Most of the time, I could be gone. I'm sitting there running my mouth. But the point is, point A to point B, he has a strategy, and I don't even understand it. And he can get you in and get you out in less than an hour. And some of us got some thick hair. You know that. We do. And I just want to know, how did you get to that point, Fern, where you decided, okay, I'm not going to let the women, they want to come, they want to have their self-care time, because I believe going to the salon is like self-care. And I'm not
Correct.
going to have them where they got to pack a lunch and stay here, all day with me to get their hair done. Is that something that you thought about when you started doing hair? I mean, like,
I
what?
did. I did. And I'm gonna go back to my college days, Stephanie. My
Okay.
my degree is in business, concentration in
Mm-hmm.
accounting and marketing. All right. Well, I'm just gonna say general business. I knew that is one of the reasons why I decided, well, I was looking at hair because I felt like it was a recession proof thing.
Uh-huh.
I
Right.
felt like, when you deal with women of color, you just open yourself up to so much, to so much, and it wasn't even about the money, but I mean, the business is good. Okay, with saying that, in the salon, Stephanie, you do, but for those out there listening, I don't. In 19 years, my salon has been open for 18 years. I have never owned a television in here.
No, you don't.
Okay, I don't want a television in here.
Right.
Now, people may be like, "Oh, that's so crazy. I don't know how to look at Judge Judy." No, my point was back
Not Judge
before.
Judy.
Yeah, I my point for not putting a television in here was, number one, I didn't want you to get that comfortable where you're going to look at a show that long. Okay. Number
Gotcha.
two, I wanted us to interact because I think life and salon and uh, a stylist and a client, there's a potential for relationship. Now, people I know in podcast land, I'm not talking about that type of relationship. I'm talking about it is a connection that that you have with that client as well as that client with the stylist, because there's a
Right.
level of trust to even sit in someone's chair. There's already a
Right.
level of trust. So
Right.
we need to build that, or keep it going, or whatever, to make sure this continues like it needs to. So I don't need a television. So I play music. Music takes you, it can put you in, if you're coming from work, it can put you in a mood where, I'm glad that day is over. It can
Right.
put you in a mood, I remember that. I can remember where I was when I heard that. Or it can put you in a mood that, okay, you know what? I'm relaxed enough when I go home. I can cook for my family and take care of the kids. And it can put you in just a whole different mindset. And that's the why music always plays in the salon. And I thought about this when I was working with someone else.
Right.
Because one thing I found out, Stephanie, even though I was in a particular environment, you learn from wherever you are. But I wanted to create my own environment. Well, but when I started in Teco Salon, that was an opportunity for me to start the environment that I thought that clients would love, eventually understand, and come back for more.
And you
I
did
shared,
that.
yeah, I shared it with a client today. I told her if a client can come and get her hair done, enjoy the service, enjoy the service, and what I mean about enjoying her hair, conversation, and she's in a good space, you betting 1,000. Because 9 times out of 10, she's going to rebook, 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 and rebook.
Right. You better.
And I wanted to, and you said something just a minute ago about spoiling you. I wanted when you go somewhere else, there's a difference.
Oh yes, I know. If don't know other client you have. No, I know, because I set myself up for that. But I know I'm spoiled. That's why I came back. I humbled myself. Yeah, it didn't take long. It didn't take long at all. I'm telling you, if you get in at Teco, whatever, I tell Vern, I sit in the chair. I say, you are the only man I know that I sit in the chair and you tell me what I'm gonna do with my hair. I don't say nothing. I just sit there. I know it's gonna look good. I know you gonna get me my color right. It's like you don't have to wear it. I understand exactly what you're saying. We don't even have to think about what it is. We didn't realize it at first because we such strong women and we come in there and we like, well, this is what I want you to do. I want black on my hair or something, like, cause we so used to getting the color black. And then you right. Like, that don't go with your skin color, boo. So you're not finna get that. Well, he don't say boo, that's me saying boo. But you're not finna get this color, and I'm like, what? I'm paying. When I tell you ladies, it is wonderful to sit in Vernell's chair and just let him decide what you need. And then when you get up, you be like, oh my goodness, I never knew I needed this right here. It is a wonderful thing. So that what you was intending to create, visualize. I won't say that you learned and you saw what you did not want to do, but the vision that you had for Teco Salon, it is awesome. I mean, how long I've been coming, bro? I've been coming so long.
Oh my God.
I brought the whole family.
And it's so funny. You have. I mean, and now they're grown with families. It's just, I guess that just tells you how long I'm in the business, but I just never, you asking me, it's so funny. You giving me this interview because we had our share loving disagreements. Okay. I said loving.
I like the way you put that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because I understand that you see something that I just see something different sometimes. And I just challenge clients in some fashion or form. You're going to a particular person because one of your good friends told you, yes, you need to go see them, or you saw someone's hair in the store somewhere. So you already in your mind said, you know what? I like what they're doing or what they have done. So that's the beginning of or the foundation of trusting the individual. So when a person comes in and they're used to saying, I want X, Y, and Z, and you're like, no, that's not gonna, no, ma'am, we can't do that. Well, it kind of throws them. At the same time, it starts to put you in a situation and say, okay, let me sit down and enjoy the moment. Okay.
But you know what, Vern? I just thought about something when you said that. But that is the way that's a good way to weed out the folks.
Oh, yes. I've weeded out lots of people.
Yeah. Weed out the people that ain't your client. That's not your client. You know what I'm saying? Because when I tell you his chair ain't for the weak, you going to have to be strong to sit in the chair with Vernell. Because, and to be honest with you, when I first came, it was kind of, Jackie is listening. She in the chat doing little stuff. You see her. And I'm telling you, you got to be strong. But in the end, I see it. I understand it. And it's one less thing on my to-do list that I don't have to worry about. You know what I'm like? All I got to do is make sure I make my appointment in time. Unlike, this week I ain't getting in, need a little color. I'm going to work with it. But anyway, that's my fault. But, it just gives you the point that you just sit there and you be like, you got it. You're there to take care. And that is that level of trust. Because when I tell you, I don't trust everybody with my edges. days, but you you've been doing well. I mean, I've been over there, I know, 12 or 13 years. You have
Oh
been
my
doing
God.
it's,
Yes.
yeah, I go through my little
And
moments.
that's but the thing, that's building relationships,
It
Stephanie.
is.
That's
It
what it's
is.
about. I know we look at it as hair and you paying for
A
a particular
service.
service,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just so much more. It's so much more. I actually, of course, you know this. I educate for a hair company, and when I have an opportunity to speak with cosmetology students or other people who've been in the industry probably longer or a little less than myself, I never discuss money with them
Right.
because we make it so much about money. And I always tell them when I'm doing a class, I'm here to teach you a particular procedure, product line, or whatever, but I can't teach you passion.
Right.
Because when you where you're supposed to be, the money will come. So stop putting a dollar sign on everything. Now, am I saying my cosmetology teacher said this and it hit me, and I still remember it, almost 20 years later.
Right.
She said, do you love it enough you could do it and not get paid for it?
Oh my
Stephanie,
goodness.
I can. When I tell you I get up in the morning with a sense of, okay, what good, God, is going to happen to me today?
Right.
Whether Stephanie has been here 10 years or whether Stephanie is a first-time client, my mindset is when I'm going through the day, I want my 7 o'clock person, I want my 4 o'clock p.m. person to look like my very first person I did 7 or 8 o'clock that morning. Because it's not fair to that individual who's in the evening and they're getting my leftovers. I want them to have the same type of look as that person, that very first client I did at 8 o'clock. And I have kept that in these years.
You have, but before we had this conversation a while back at the salon. You remember when you used to stay at the salon all night until you got shook up. So I can attest that the 12 o'clock client at midnight gets the same thing as the 5 o'clock client, because I done been there before. I done been in both of them. You give it now. But I appreciate that. And I love that you are saying don't, and that's it. Everything is about money. And I love that you said that if it's your passion and you put in the work, like you said before, the work ethic in it, and you do and you treat people with the customer service, the Lord will bless you. The money will come.
Yes.
It will come.
Yes.
Because, I be so tickled sometimes, and, this is not you, this is me. I be so tickled sometimes, like you'll get a phone call from a new client that's trying to get in, and they act like, like you sitting over there waiting on clients. I'm like, baby, what? Can I come? Now we sitting there on Tuesday. They trying to come in tomorrow. And I did say tomorrow. They trying to come in tomorrow. And you be like, I'm booked up until it may be 3 weeks down the line. They be like, what? And then they hang up. And I be in the chair, Jackie, you can attest, I be in the chair like, y'all better call back and get this one that's open. Because one thing about Vernell clientele, we don't leave out the chair without making our appointments. I'm going to tell you that right now. We in there. The only way we ain't got an appointment, if you see me with some braids, well, I'm taking a break right now. I ain't over there. But when these braids come out, I'm in there. So, I just love the fact that, that they don't even people still don't understand, like we take for granted, we want to mistreat people because they're like, oh, you need me. Oh, you got to have oh no, I'm here to tell you. Anteco is very well taken care of.
It's so funny. It's so funny you mentioned that because I live in a small town.
You do.
Of course, you know that, Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, early on in my career, you go places and people want to talk about hair. I had to stop it because, yes, I can eat, sleep, and drink hair. But when you leave the salon, I try to leave it, and that comes with time. But when people call, I don't want, and they don't get the response that they're looking for, to take it personal, because it's not. Because there are people for me to service, and that I am currently servicing while I'm talking to you on the phone. And Stephanie, I know there's new technology I could be using as far as scheduling, but I'm still from the old school. You know this, Stephanie. I still like to. I control my book. Let's say that.
Yes, you do.
I like to control my book because I don't want to glitch, and not saying technology things have glitches. I'm just saying I don't want when Stephanie comes in, I don't want it to be where there's two other people coming in with Stephanie.
At the same time.
Because that may be the time that I need to spend with Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why some things I still do old school, and to me, it still goes back to customer service. I
Right.
want you in here, enjoy your service, but I also want you to be able to leave here with a beautiful head of hair, and you still have the rest of the day, and you have not spent breakfast, lunch, and dinner with me.
I
That's not
appreciate
going to
that.
happen.
I
Yes,
appreciate
ma'am.
that. I'm gonna tell you. I don't know. I know the rest of them tell you that too. I appreciate it because I didn't even realize I was in bondage until I came to you because I was going to the salon. Man, I tell you, it was an all day thing. Like on Saturdays, I was like,
Yes.
man, I be starving. It's just all kind of stuff, and I didn't
Now,
even know
what if
you
your
could get
husband?
out.
What if your husband wanted to surprise you and take you to dinner? Now
No,
you
it wasn't
left.
gonna be.
You got there at 8 o'clock.
It
Well,
wasn't gonna
he's
happen.
like, okay, I made reservations, or I'm gonna surprise you and surprise her and take her to, dinner for 4. Well, you don't get
Mm.
home to 6. Well, you
Sometimes it
didn't
been
know.
like that. Yeah.
But see, you didn't know that he was going to do anything. So you
Right.
looking at him crazy because he didn't notice your hair. Well, he didn't notice your hair because he had he had some other plans for you.
Right.
See, think
Now,
about that.
now, Vern, let me ask this question. What do you think? You've been in the business 19 years. What is the reason that causes that? Like that longevity that you have to sit in some salons that long? Do you think it's because of the money aspect, as you said earlier? They're trying to overbook to make more money, or what is it? What do you think?
Okay, one thing. I
In
read
your
an
opinion,
article.
this is your
In my
opinion. Your
opinion, this
opinion.
is strictly
Yeah.
my opinion.
Hmm.
This is not what they say scientific research or
That's right.
anything.
This is your opinion
Uh,
from being in the career. Yeah.
okay, number one reason could be in sometimes with the black salons, we think our money making days are Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, if you're working 3 days, maybe a half a day on Wednesday or whatever. I'm not. This is nothing particular for any particular person. I'm just saying if you have a 3 day span, you're trying to really push a lot of clients in 3 days.
Gotcha.
Where how many days a week? There's 7 days a week. Okay, I know we have Sunday. So technically we have 6 days a week.
Mm.
Okay, I know you need one for yourself. Okay, we're down to 5 days a week.
Okay.
5 days versus 3 days will make a world of difference for an individual. Okay. Now, the reason, and this is what I believe, one of the reasons, again, I state, for someone staying in a salon probably longer than they possibly want to, and you got to realize too, Stephanie, the stylist really definitely doesn't want anyone, to stay that long. Some don't, when you think about time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another podcast. Okay.
Yeah, and we're going
But
to do it. So go ahead.
okay. Number one, again, could be the number of days you're working. Number two, you're looking at it is, okay, get as many as I get as many in as I need to, 10, 12 or whatever, because that increases my financial gain for that particular week. Okay.
Right.
Number three, and this may hurt some individuals, but lack of organization.
Right.
Businesses fail a lot of times because the lack of organization.
Okay.
And what I mean about that, whatever works for you, you don't have to run your salon like the salon next door or whatever. You find out what your culture, what you're dealing with,
All right.
what you think, it's all based on you, what you expect as a stylist from your customer, as well as what your customer should expect from you. Now, you're supposed to give that both. It shouldn't be just one-sided. All right.
Right.
So,
Right.
but once you create that in your mind, put it on paper, organize it. Say, if I'm going to work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to schedule. Everyone's not coming in at 8 o'clock. I'm going to schedule, and I'm going to give myself an hour between whatever. Now, somebody's like, well, just have them come in. That's more money, Stephanie. And we've had this conversation.
Yes. Tell
A
it.
stylist
Say
never
it.
a stylist never makes money until that person, the service has been rendered. They have paid you, gotten their purse, and gotten their car. That's when you make money. You having 10 and 12 people sitting in there looking at you, I've never seen where you made money doing that. You only make money when
they
the service is complete.
when it's you. And you know what, Vern, you're right, because I have been long time ago at a salon, and when I sat there and then sat that long in there and waited, the only thing, because I had to get the hair done because it wasn't right, but I said to myself as I was sitting there, I was like, I won't ever come here again.
What you say, self?
Self will not be here again. I will not. I just can't do it. I mean, and then this is even before I encountered you. And now, I don't know. I guess if you retire, I'm just going to shave my head, but I just think
we don't want that. but Stephanie, I have always, when I was telling you in the beginning, I want my 4 o'clock person to look like my 7 or 8 o'clock person. My grandmother always taught me, do it right the first time. I'm very mindful of someone else's time. I tell you, that's the reason why I still do things, by hand that I probably shouldn't, because I am very conscious of that. Because I know you have other things you want to do. It does.
It works for you.
I would rather for you to walk here and leave here happy because, okay, I didn't realize that. Or introduce it. I had a new client on yesterday. She could not, she's like, I cannot believe I'm done. And I'm like,
I know
this is just something.
I don't.
She's like, I can't believe I'm done. She said, I told my husband I would be there at dark. No, baby. Maybe your friends, when they told you to come to me, they didn't tell you that you don't stay long here. Okay. Well, this is what happens.
This is what happened. No, not dog. Only time you stay there at the dark is if the time change. And now, since we got these new banker hours, we don't get dark no more. Yes.
I love it. I told someone, Stephanie,
I love it for you.
Stephanie, I figure I've been doing it for 19 years again. I don't think I have 19 more years. I'm still loving it. I'm, physically, I'm doing well and everything. At the same time, I think these last years, and I'm not saying 2 or 3, I mean, these years I have left, I need to do it my way, because I've kind of tweaked some things.
Yeah,
it works best for me. Yeah.
It works. And what's so amazing about it, you don't have no shampoo person. I mean, you doing it all. I mean, like it's like top to bottom to top. You is on it. And I have come. You remember that? I remember one time, and I know I got to let you go. And we definitely gonna have to finish this chat up. We gonna let this one ride, but you got to come back to the corner. You gonna?
I would love to.
When you got more time, because I got more questions we didn't even get to. But this is okay because you know what? Like I told you, I just wanted us to have a conversation. And you really, hit on to some point about it. There's only one other thing I want to say. I want you to, talk about before we go is what is the difference between me and you had this conversation, when I first went natural and I was going through all of these different groups and stuff. And it was always, I was being bullied because they would say, oh, you're not natural if you go get your hair cheed, flat iron, whatever there's so many names for it now. But to me, when we say natural hair, is that like it just considers you in your natural state, or is just because you can be natural because you don't get a relaxer, right?
Correct. And a lot of times back early in my career, I used to do a little bit of everything. I think that's just part of, whatever. But of course, the longer I got into it, because I love dealing with the natural hair. And my definition, Stephanie, of natural hair is shampooing, conditioning the hair, towel blot, bring them back to your chair. That's your natural state. And usually that, to me, with my definition and Technical Salon's definition, that's usually no sodium hydroxide. Okay. So no relaxer in the hair. So I typically, I guess theoretically, people may say, well, they're not natural. They have color. Well, that's true. Okay. Because you're dealing with, artificial color and, artificial pigment, and hair color and all of that good stuff. But we could color your hair because, some people like grays. I mean, don't like grays. Some people like gray. It is what it is. But my natural is to put control in the hair.
Okay.
My natural goes back to me seeing my aunt that used to press and curl hair.
Gotcha.
Where you would come and it was shampooed and you had to let it air dry because it really wasn't any blow dryers.
Right.
Little girls played for a day or so, make sure the hair was really, really dry and somebody pressed it and stuff. Well, instead of me hard pressing it with the comb, I brought it to the 2000s or whatever the case may be, because I started in 90, whatever. Early 2000s. I wanted to get control with you keeping your hair in a natural state.
Right.
That's my definition of dealing with natural hair.
Gotcha.
And working with it. I wanted to bring some control and let them know that you can have control. Now, Some people like they may see a particular flat iron, silk press, or whatever. There's so many definitions for it
I
now.
know.
Well, I was brought up on flat iron. If that's what you want to call it, it is what it is. Okay.
Right.
But this is the thing, Stephanie, with the pressing, it's just simply giving you control, but it's also not killing. It's not, you still have life into the hair.
Right.
There's some things I don't do from the old school. I don't load the hair down with product. I don't put a lot of oils and grease. I don't do certain things because that could weigh the life down. I mean, the life of the hair down. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason. That's what I learned too, just looking at my cousin in California, because they were not big oil people. That was a Southern thing. That's a cultural thing. Your grandmother slapping the grease on the back of your hand. And that's how I was able to just perfect that. And that's what I tried to just work on, to perfect and read and study a picture or something like that. And to me, that's my definition of someone that's natural. It's not based on whether they have good hair or anything. Because Stephanie, you've been in here, and other people have been in here. Everyone's texture is not the same when you wet it.
Right.
Okay. Right. So it didn't matter to me, the texture. I can deal with any texture. It's just the processes and the procedure that I take to get to where I'm going. Right. Remember I told you the A to B to C to D? Okay. Mm-hmm. You're going to look just like Stephanie, and Stephanie's texture is totally different than yours.
Right.
So that's what's kind of kept me going and just continuing to learn. Even 19 years later, still learning what products I can use, what I can this. Okay, maybe I can cut some time doing this. Okay, maybe they want to stay as long if I do this. But without messing with the integrity of the hair. Because I don't cut corners for cost or the integrity of the hair, because I will lose in the long run. So that's I'm just doing that for efficiency reasons. When I say I can learn some take out some things or tweak some things or whatever, just to make my efficiency rate better.
Right. Because as you said that about you don't cut costs, because you remember you took me on a field trip and I went where you buy your product. I don't forget things. You teach me so much. I went in there with you and I think you got like 4 things, and it was like a lot. And I was like, oh my goodness. So when we got back in the vehicle, I was like, and you was like, see, people be trying to, talk about what I charge, but they don't know what I pay out. And I told you from that day forward, I would never complain. I would never complain. And do I complain? No, I
never.
No.
You never.
I never complain, because people don't think about, all they see is, but you know what I think about? I said, but we don't say nothing to C-Spire or Sprint or nothing. They raise that. Never say anything to them. But, things go up. I remember one time I got a lawyer and I had a consultation with her the year prior, and she had told me one price. And then when I went the next year and she told me that, I was like, but last year she said, the cost of living goes up, darling. This is a new year.
I love it.
I'm like, okay. Because you are right. You are exactly
She's right. Exactly right.
She's exactly right.
Exactly.
But, that's our mindset. So I appreciate the things that that you have taught me over the years, because it helped me appreciate you and other people that are in the service community of servicing us. We get so confused sometimes. Like, oh, I pay you to do my hair. You if I call you at 12, you need to do my hair at 2.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
You don't.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. And you know what, Stephanie? I love when you said that, because I had encountered, several times, but this one in particular, I can remember a client calling. Well, I shouldn't say she was a client. She was trying to become a client, I guess. And she tells me, she says, in her little, first of all, she called, right. She called, and when she couldn't get in, she called back and she told me that I was rude. And I said, no, ma'am. I said, I wasn't rude. I said, I answered every question you asked. She said, well, I guess when she couldn't get a rise out of that, she said, you act like you don't need the money. I said, well, ma'am, it's so funny you opened the door. I do not. So when she got that, it was like it was just like, I can't believe he told me this. Well, I wanted you to understand, I'm not your servant. I provide a service, but I'm not your servant. And you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. And remember, I told you when I go to restaurants, I really pay attention to how I treat the waiter or the waitress, because we have this, I don't know, sometimes this sense of entitlement, and these people are mere peasants and we treat them like that. No, you don't do that. You don't do
Right.
that. So I just, Stephanie, I feel like this, and I really feel that this is going to take me. This is probably end the call or whatever the case may be. Again, when you're where you're supposed to be, everything else aligns. When you're not, you have to force things. You can get out of character. You're just not, you're not comfortable. And if you're not comfortable with yourself, you'll pass it on to a client, and it's not fair to them.
Correct.
It is not fair, and we need to stop. Sometimes as stylists, I mean, as clients, I mean, come into black salons, we can talk about your prices, Stephanie. If you own a salon, we can talk about your prices. This is too high. This is too whatever,
Right.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you'll go somewhere else and you'll spend the money. That's fine. That's your choice. That is your decision. But what you're not going to do is come in and take a salon, and we're not about to go around the world about it.
Mm-mm.
Because I know what you get for what you pay for.
Yes.
Now, look at it like this. If you went into your job Monday morning, Stephanie, and they said you were making X amount of dollars, and they said, "Well, Stephanie, you ain't worth it. We're gonna pay you $15,000 less." You would feel some type of way, right?
And that would be
So podcast people, stop going into salons, join the stylist down, because you think they're not worthy for that particular price. Because I usually don't talk about cost. I don't talk about it at all. But I wanted to make that clear to your audience. Don't do people like that. Don't disrespect their business.
Right.
Whether you appreciate or see the value in it or not, don't do it. Because if someone did you like that with your job, even if you think it's high tech or it's high pollutant,
Mm-hmm.
what if someone told you were not worth what we're paying you?
Right.
Make sure.
Yeah,
I know.
because that's your livelihood. Well, to end this call, because I know you have to go, you have another appointment, but I have a question now that I want to ask every guest before we end, and I want to know what comes to mind when you hear classy lady. You sitting in the classy lady corner. I want to know what Vern thinks when he hears classy lady. Come on with it. Tell me.
Classy lady. Well, I guess I'm a little biased because I know classy lady, personally, Classy lady, I just think of endurance. I think of just an encourager, one that takes obstacles and fills the holes of the potholes and continues to go. I'm so elated and happy to be here to this afternoon, but to see you do something, I knew you were creative. I'm seeing things in a whole different light. Nothing really rattles me too much. Stephanie, I lost a coworker a couple of weeks ago, but generally nothing does. But you know what? I'm learning even with that to enjoy the moment.
Right.
I see classy lady doing so many things, including this podcast. I already see the spot when we start doing videos where we actually going to do probably second part here in the salon.
Right.
Because I want you to know how proud I am, and you just keep going. And I'm not saying this because we're on the air. Anything I can do for you, you can count it done.
Right.
It's just keep on going, because I'm learning, and I learned this a long time ago. And I think it was probably one of Martin Luther King's quotes, and I'm paraphrasing. You don't have to see the whole staircase in order to make the first step.
All right now.
So I'm thankful that you took the first step, because when you get ready to take the second step, that step is already lit up as well. See, sometimes you only need enough light for where you are at this particular time. So that's why you don't need to see the whole staircase.
Right.
And that works with any industry, whether it's hair,
anything. Yeah.
Any entrepreneurs, anything. And you just keep going, because for where you are right now, you are sufficient, and he has granted you sufficiency for where you are now.
Oh, thank you, Vern. You're so sweet. Hey, quick question. Is the salon finished? Is the makeover over? He's
still doing little things. But when you come back, you have the wow effect like everyone else. I'm telling you, I'm well pleased.
I'm well pleased. Okay. Well, Vern, I really enjoyed talking to you and having you share with us, the tips, your journey, the things that, that we need to do, giving out, giving out gems to maybe some stylists or somebody that family members are here that have people that want to be a stylist already in the business. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate you for always keeping us ladies looking and feeling good, because we love to have our hair laid. You know that. But anyway, thank you so much, Vernell.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Continued success.
You are the first man in the corner. You welcome back to the corner anytime. Okay.
Well, I hope I started the right trend, and the next guy has something to, he has a bar to set. So,
you done set the bar. He wanted to come here with some Gucci shoes on or something. I don't know. But anyway, I love you.
I love
Have
it.
a good
love
one.
you. Thanks so much. Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to your podcast. Thanks for listening. And until next time, keep it classy.